Hello everybody, my name is Spoons Rattling, and welcome to my video covering the Loyalist Space Marine army I'm building. I'm actually building it out of that Age of Darkness box I unboxed a couple weeks ago. So let's get into it. To cover some background first, obviously on the right is their color scheme, using a dark blue and a sort of light grayish blue for the trim and green eyes. They are an Iron Hand successor with a slant towards melee, born heroes whirlwind of rage, and Terminators. The whole theme for the army is sort of ghostly and old world monsters of folklore and mythology, though the lore isn't super important at the moment, as it's not finalized, of course, and this is more a brainstorming video covering how I plan to play the army and the first army list that I'm building out of that Age of Darkness box. So, this is a battalion detachment at 1985 points with 1 of 6 CP remaining. So in the HQ slots, we have the Captain with Power Axe, upgraded to the Axe of Medusa, and Imperium Sword as a Warlord trait. Alongside him, we have a Librarian with a Force Sword, Reforge, and Steel armor. In troops, we have 3x5 Tactical Marines with Grav Cannons. We have 1 Company Champion, upgraded to Chapter Champion, with the Blade of Triumph and Martial Exemplar. We have 2x5 Relic Terminators with Lightning Claw and Combi Bolter and Grenade Harness, though the Sergeant takes dual Lightning Claws as he's the one with the Grenade Harness. Then we have a squad of 7 Vanguard Veterans with Chainsaw and Lightning Claw, just because points. In the fast attack, we have an attack bike with Multi-Melta for a little bit of extra fast-moving anti-tank. And in heavy support, we have 2 squads of 5 Devastators with multi-meltas, 2 multi-meltas, 2 Grav Cannons, and the Armorium Cherub. Armorium Cherubs, I should say. And then in dedicated transport, we have 1 drop pod, and then we have actually a flyer in the Storm Raven gunship with twin heavy plasma cannons, multi-meltas, and hurricane bolters. Now, to sort of go over how I plan to play this, let's start with the Storm Raven gunship. Now, that is going to have the Contemptor Dreadnought that I just realized I didn't put on the list. But I did put him in Battlescribe. But it is a Relic Contemptor with Multi-Melta, Chain Fist, and Graviton Blaster. He, alongside the Captain, the Company Champion, and a squad of 5 Terminators are going to fit in that Storm Raven gunship, because the Storm Raven can fit 12 Legion Infantry, or not Legion, Chapter Infantry, with Terminators taking up 2 spots, and it can bring along a Contemptor Dreadnought, or it can bring along a Dreadnought so long as it has 9 or less wounds. Or rather, so long as it doesn't have 14 or more wounds, I should say. So they're sort of their own little unit. So the plan is fly them across the board, open up with the gunship, because the gunship has a lot of very powerful guns, as you can see. These aren't even all the guns, these are just the paid for ones. It also has these damage 3 missiles, which are pretty nice. So they're going to drop out. Then the Terminators will open up into some unit, then charge. And since the Company Champion has Martial Exemplar, he has an aura of re-rolling charges. So he's going to charge last and have all of the others around him re-roll charges to get in faster. The Captain's obviously a beat stick with the Axe of Medusa and Imperium Sword, bringing him up to Strength 8, AP 3, Damage 3. The Company Champion is Strength 7, AP 3, Damage 3, which is pretty nice. The Terminators obviously have a lot of attacks with exploding 6s and hitting on 2s. And that's sort of that unit. Of course, the Contemptor Dreadnought also packs some nice firepower with the Multi-Melta and some very useful anti-tank threat with that Chain Fist doing 6 damage if it's fighting a vehicle. And then aside from that, we obviously have the 3 Tactical Marines, and they are upgraded with Grav Cannons, and they're just obviously to hold objectives and clear out some heavy infantry with those Grav Cannons, as they're quite good against other Marines. Then the Librarian is going to pal around with the other squad of Terminators, giving them Steel armor, because that can be applied to a vehicle or a core unit, I want to say. But when you do that, it adds 1 to their saving throw. So they'll be reducing incoming AP by 2, which means they're saving AP 4 on a 4+. But aside from that, then we have the drop pod, which is obviously just crammed with as many Devastators as possible, with the Cherubs and multi-melter and grav cannons. You can use the cherub on whichever weapon's going to be more efficient, getting you up to, 24 grav cannon shots, or, give me a second, I'm doing the math, 4, 8, 12 multi-melter shots, which can, I'd say, melt most things in the game pretty efficiently, especially in melter range. And with the Sergeant's +1 to hit ability, I don't remember what it's called at the moment, but using that, it allows the whatever unit needs it most to be hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s because that's Iron Hands, and obviously move and shoot for no penalty in turn 1. So that's sort of the general plan. It has these little different groups. Oh, and the Vanguard Veterans are sort of a flexible unit that can obviously deal with infantry with just a huge volley of attacks, and also, they have the jump packs, so they can take objectives or do actions if they need to. So that's pretty much the list. It's pretty simple. You have your advancing squad of Terminators, Vanguards, Tactical Marines, attack bikes. Then the sort of alpha strike is the dedicated transport of the drop pod, filled with Devastators, which could quite easily melt a tank or clear out swathes of infantry relatively easily. So we have that Stormraven gunship, which obviously has the plasma cannons, which are actually better than most plasma cannons. They're damage 2 when in standard mode, and then damage 3 in overcharge. So when it delivers its deadly cargo, it can click those into overcharge and just sort of go on a blaze of glory, spitting out massive amounts of damage 3. The multi-meltas can easily get in melta range, and I think the Hurricane Bolters give you something like 30 bolter shots, which isn't that deadly with AP 0, but you could easily clear or chip a few wounds off something. For example, if a Badin is in the army, you can vomit all those Hurricane Bolters at him, and you're likely to get one through to chip that Zinch save, to then let the other units do what they need to do. So that's sort of the list in general. It's pretty simple. Again, it has those little sort of sub-units in the army itself that travel together. And while I'm not sure it's the most competitive, I'm probably going to take it to a couple tournaments at least, and I'll report how it does. And this captain model is the one I'm using, and his name is Big Slappy. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. So in summary, it's not planned to be like maxing out efficiency, as I don't find playing like that to be very fun. I prefer to have lists that can do well enough and are fun to play. Obviously, as I said, they take Whirlwind of Rage and Born Heroes to make the various melee units not only super accurate, but very dangerous. Like those Terminators with Lightning Claws, and rerolling 1s to hit, hitting on 2s on the charge. They're just going to be vomiting out attacks, and all of those have exploding 6s to hit, which could easily just shred something, even if it is relatively high toughness. So I've been your host, Spoons Rattling. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications for the last sort of stretch of July, where we're wrapping up the month of uploads, and I am going to probably keep up a similar upload speed, but maybe not one every day. We'll see. Again, I've been Spoons Rattling. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.